guys, you guys, I have such a treat for you today. I think you're really going to enjoy this. So I've been doing a lot of Monster Hunter streams. I'm sure you guys have noticed. I've been playing a lot of Freedom Unite. But I figured what I would do is cover the lost Monster Hunter game. This is Monster Hunter DOS. This is a PlayStation 2 Monster Hunter game that never got released in America. Reduce the audio here just a touch so you guys can hear me talking over this, and that's perfectly fine by me. So I'm going to create a new game here, and you guys are finally going to see some of the lost Monster Hunter game, the one that we never got in America. And I'm going to make a female character because that's just cute. I'm sure you guys can guess what the name of this character is going to be. So if you guys are familiar with Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, you're familiar with how the game begins. It begins at Poke Village, on the top of the snowy mountain. Actually, there's a cuter face I want to go with. There we go. I like that one. And then we're going to choose a different hairstyle here, because that totally matters in the long run. There we go. Now, there's a couple of graphical glitches with the emulation of this game, but honestly, all told, it's not that bad. And I just wanted to give you guys the treat of being able to see this Monster Hunter game for really the first time, because there's a lot of people that have never seen this game. As you know, the core elements of this game were brought into Monster Hunter Freedom 2 and Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, but the game itself has so many features that just aren't in the Freedom 2 series. And I'll show some of those features off in a little while, but this is completely new content. So basically this game takes place on, instead of Poke Village, takes place at Jumbo Village, which is a tropical island village, instead of a snowy mountain. Some of the features here are going to be the same, but a lot of things not quite. There's a lot of things that you might find that that appeared in the later games, but you might think they were new features. That's not necessarily true, because a lot of these features actually came from Monster Hunter DOS, but were never seen again. The Guildmarm, super cute. Look at her with her big poofy dress, bringing me over to the bar, introducing me to the village chief, right here with his big pointy ears. Now, a lot of the story text in this game is actually still in Japanese. The translation that I found for it basically translates the core elements of the game. It translates the the important text, that kind of thing, but it doesn't actually translate any of the story text, which you're going to see very quickly, like right now. But basically, we are the new hunter to the village. The posting for a hunter went out, and I responded. That's really the long and short of it. So he gives me 1,500 zenny to get started. I want to show you guys, this is the house that you start off with. And you got your Chamberlain here, your waiter cat. And a lot of the features from the newer games started with waiter cat. Like, he's going to give me some popo meat. I don't know why he's going to give me some popo meat. Okay, right. Okay, so the feline kitchen from Freedom Unite, or Freedom 2, started in this game, but it's a little different. But first things first, let me go talk to the bar sales girl, which, again, the text is in Japanese. I'm not 100% sure what she's going to tell me. I think she's going to tell me, hey, if you want to take a quest, you can take a quest from me. But that's where I get the quests from. Hunt instructor here would normally give me instructions on how to hunt, but you know, he's, you know, obviously speaking Japanese, and I'm a fish out of water here and I have no idea what he's talking about. There's an info board here, which is completely translated. Jumbo Bulletin. This is the listing that brought me to this town, right? I support the future of the Jumbo Village, recruiting brave hunters. Inquiry at the bar. No gender distinction. Inexperienced hunters are welcome. Training with a hunt instructor. 1500 zenny is pay in advance. We've already done that. No big deal, right? Then you've got Hunter's Life. So one of the weird things about this game is that there are actually seasons in this game. You have summer season, you have winter season, and you have breeding season. Now, it's mistranslated as breeder season, but no. So each one of the seasons actually changes things about the quests. Village life. There's a day and night cycle, so you can see up in the top left-hand corner, there's a dial that's ticking down, even while I'm standing here reading this thing. This dial dictates the day and night cycle, and it progresses when you do anything. So if I go out on a quest and I come back, it's going to be further progressed. Then we got the village life down here, day and night cycle, people's info, and this is going to tell you about the 5 different people that you can talk to immediately. Your blacksmith, the ship carpenter, your hunter instructor, the bar sales girl, and the jumbo chief. You buy things from the items cat. I'm going to call him items cat because it's a really awesome name. The village chief is wandering around behind me. What is he doing? That's really weird. Chief, what are you doing? Anyway, the translation for this game is a little different. Again, this wasn't a native English speaker that actually translated this, and he was going for, if you're familiar with Freedom Unite, some of the item names are shortened based on the amount of space that you have for the text field. So you'll have things like the brain, the brain stems. You know, it says Bergstrom or whatever, right? So this guy actually, you know, translated all the different item names so that they wouldn't overlap like that as best as he could. So the feline kitchen thing in this is a little weird, right? So you actually come over to this cat and you buy the items that you want to have cooked, like dry margarine, red oil, rice bugs, scalefish, the white livers, the war wheat, and the Django onions. Chief's back, dry hump in the air behind me. You buy these items, and then you take them over to the kitchen girl, and then she cooks them for you for your quest. So you actually have to come over here and buy the items for your meal before you actually go out. And then you've got your flute note, which displays the melodies of the hunting horn, because they're not actually displayed in your equipment info in this game. You actually have to read them before you go out. You got a couple more things down here. This is really cool. We're going to take a little tour of the village real quick before we go out on our first quest. And you got your little villagers that you can talk to. Not a big deal. So there's some ominous stuff going on here in the mine. I'm not entirely sure what is happening here. But for some reason, this reminds me of the giant sword behind the ice in Poke Village. You can't go out that way. I think this actually goes to multiplayer. The multiplayer is disabled. So this is one really cool thing too. So here's the blacksmith. You can buy your armor from the blacksmith if you want to. After she eventually stops talking. So you can buy your helmet, your starter items here. Which, obviously, the first thing to do, right, is to get the leather armor set, which I'm going to do that. Alright, so now that we're completely out of money and we have the leather armor set, I want to show you. So the blacksmith and the forge are actually the same person. And when you run up to the forge, she's like, "Oh gosh, okay, hang on. Catch your breath." And you can talk to her, and then you can have her like forge your weapons and your armor and that kind of thing. But I run down here, and you can see her up there in the top, running down. That's just really cool to me. But yeah, you've got your shipwright over here, ship carpenter, of course. You know, he's a jolly fellow. He likes to laugh a lot. But we're gonna go out on our first quest here. quest by day, gather 5 special mushrooms. If you guys are familiar with Monster Hunter Freedom 1, most of that quest text says that, you know, watch out for the moss swine, because the moss swine know where the special mushrooms are. But I didn't know that the first time I did this quest, and for fair coverage sake, I actually did play a little bit of this game before I started streaming it, just to familiarize myself with it. I figured you guys would appreciate that. So you guys may recognize this as the jungle map from Freedom Unite. So you don't start on the snowy mountain in this game, you start on the tropical island. This is your Wisdom of the Chief. So things are a little bit different here. You've got your item box. You can still take out your items the same way, and we're going to do that. We're not going to get too involved on this one. I basically just want to do this one as one first quick video just to show off the game, and then we'll get deeper into the quests. So you definitely don't want to go out to Island 4. If you're familiar with 4 from the Freedom Unite game, 4 has an angry crab. And the first time I played this angry crab killed me, and I carded, and it was the very first mission. But, there's a moss swine here, so we'll go ahead and kill it. Just like Monster Hunter 1 on the PlayStation 2, you attack with the right stick in this game. But weirdly enough, running with the R button actually puts away your weapon, which is something really weird, and I kind of wish it could be carried over. See, this crab does a ton of damage. Look at this crab. This crab is whooping my ass. Alright. So we're going to go back to Section 1. This crab's just hot on my heels. Right. So, let me take some rations. Because you need some stamina. Everybody needs stamina. But one thing that I'm actually really admiring of this game is the aesthetic, right? Because, like, you can see there's such a tropical vibe to kind of like everything that you're seeing here. The dragon icon in the top right, or excuse me, the top left, that actually shows your time left for the quest. It's really cool looking. I like that. It's not as big and descriptive as the later games in the series, but it's effective. So of course this is the same Monster Hunter gameplay like this. Hunt for mushrooms, dig for mushrooms, not get the mushrooms that you need. But yeah, like I was saying, just like Monster Hunter 1 on the PlayStation, you attack with the right stick, and turning the camera is exclusively for the D-pad. And that's a little weird to me. It takes some getting used to. But I don't know. It kind of allows for a little bit more control, I guess. But it's the same thing as pressing triangle and circle, and then pressing down on the right stick. That's the same thing as the triangle circle attack, like pressing them both together. Press circle to put away your weapon instead of square, which is kind of weird. I can't tell you how many times I've actually used an item thinking I needed to hit square to put my weapon away. With the sword and the shield, I'll show you this for an example. With the sword and the shield, you can actually use items, and I need to actually use a healing potion. So in the other games, you have to hunker down, and then you can use your item. If you hit square, you can just straight up use an item while you have the weapon out, which is a little bit weird too. We're going to go to Zone 9, because I think that's where the special mushrooms were the first time I did this. I should have bought a pickaxe, didn't buy a pickaxe, but that's okay. I think there's bullfangos and moss swine here. Now, the moss swine carry the special mushrooms, as well as searching mushroom piles. Of course, this game's going to prove me wrong with the random drops. And bullfangos are the same as they've always been. They're scary. But it seems like they actually home in a lot more. Yeah, it's really difficult. And I'm, steady hitting the right stick trying to turn the camera, which is a little awkward. These guys deal a ton of damage. You know, I never expected that they would be this aggressive and require this much damage right at the very beginning of the game. See, I hit square again, trying to put away my weapon. So just jumping slash. Come on, man. It's your time to go. You need to go. Otherwise, you're going to interfere with me picking some mushrooms. So Bullfango Pelt. I will need this for later, which is kind of okay. Sharpness decreased. That's okay. I like the little icon up in the corner. It's kind of cool. Showing the sharpness. And it again still has a little bit of that tropical feel to it. Alright, so we need 5 special mushrooms. We now have 2. We're getting plenty of blue mushrooms. 3. Nothing left. I'm tempted to go get that honey, but I'll come back for it later. Not a big deal. Don't need it quite yet. But yeah, one thing I'm noticing, and it could just be because the starting weapons are just incredibly weak, but it seems like enemies take a lot more damage. And Vespoids is still terrible. We need 2 more special mushrooms. There's nothing. Oh, okay. So there's a difference between there's nothing and there's nothing here. There's nothing just means your search failed. Which is something that has been since taken out of Monster Hunter games, but it was absolutely in the first Monster Hunter game as well. There's nothing. Okay, so I have all the special mushrooms I need, I think. I can use the right stick to go through the menu here, but that means I also can't turn the camera, which is awkward. So we've got 5 special mushrooms, so we've got what we needed. We're going to go back and turn these in, and I'm going to show you guys as well. Turning in this quest is an experience. It is a completely different quest complete music. Something that I've never heard before in any other Monster Hunter game. It doesn't sound anything like any other game in the series, not even the first one. It's completely different and completely caught me off guard the first time I heard it. But it's kind of cool. It's just going to take some getting used to is all. So here we go. So we could turn in 4 meat or 2 royal beetles to also complete this quest, but then we're going to turn in the special mushrooms. And here we go. Figured you guys would enjoy hearing that. But yeah, that's going to be your first quest. Also, receiving items, just like the first game, they go to your inventory, not to your box, which means I can't send these 2 blue mushrooms to my box. I would have to carry them, which means I lose out on them, just by virtue of having too many. Alright, that was the first quest in Monster Hunter DOS, Monster Hunter 2, for the PlayStation 2. I'm going to continue doing these and show off some of the new features of this game, because I feel like not a lot of people have seen this, and I feel like it's something important that needs to be shown on the internet. In any case, guys, thank you for watching, and if you haven't already, Make sure you subscribe so you can see the next time my videos go live. Take it easy. Have a good one.